Hey there, and good afternoon, race fans. Welcome to Dover Speedway here in the capital of Delaware, as we're set to begin round number 8 of Season 3 of the Speed Racing Series presented by Middle Road Energy. That's right, we are in the house of old Miles the Monster, and you know he loves to make a meal out of any race car that falls victim to a crash here, and I bet you today will be no exception. Anyway, for round number 7 at Charlotte, Major Robinson took home the checkered flag there, and he, along with Noah Hart, Zachary Fitzwater, and Vince Freeze, will all have a chance to win $50,000 today as part of the Roadcast Challenge program that Middle Road Energy has put together for this season. So not only will surviving this race be important, but those 4 guys will be even more motivated to win some extra cash. Who do you think will tame the monster today, and who gets to walk away with the big money? Let's start this race up. For the second time in Season 3, an S3 Motorsports driver is going to be on the pole, and Zayden Davidson in that 35 car will have the honors of leading them all down to the green. Of course, he had that heartbreaking defeat out at Charlotte, where he experienced mechanical troubles while leading within the final 15 laps, and this will be the perfect chance for him to get some redemption. He just has to put 150 laps together, and he might do it. But how much carnage will we see? Old Miles the Monster has quite the appetite today, and I'm sure many of these fans are going to expect some chaos to take place. Anyway, here comes the field to amp this crowd up. And there it is. We are under green here at Dover. Zayden Davidson's able to lead the first lap as Zachary DeLello nearly lost control back there. Thankfully, they're all able to keep it straight. But out of turn 2, it's Davidson, then Joseph Strigley, then Vince Freeze, the highest running Roadcast Challenge driver in the 21. He's got the best shot to win that extra 50 grand for the time being. Behind him, Luke Martin, your winner here from last season in the 54 car. Now he's going to be under threat from Scott Roush, who started on the outside pole. And you just see how spacious this track is. Look at the field go side by side in multiple places down the back straightaway. Side-by-side battle between a couple of rookies. Logan Cloud in the 20, Cody Lamas in the 48. You also got Mac Johnson in the picture in that red number 25, who's carrying success over from Charlotte after finishing 12th. He's going to get pushed up high by James Ellison and Dylan Young in that 87. Anthony McClure also up here in the top 10. Here's RJ Bishop in the 38, your points leader, trying to give some assistance to his teammate of Roush. Trying to get held Luke Martin, who, if you don't remember, Martin, he's had 4 straight finishes of 25th or worse. So he's extra desperate to bring that streak to an end this afternoon. But thanks to a good qualifying effort, he's riding comfortably in the top 10 as he's side by side with Bishop. Scott Roush is able to get away from them. There's Anthony McClure, who's trapped in the middle. He had a good qualifying effort himself, too. Cody Lamas pushed way up high in that green 48 car. And he's likely going to drop out of the top 10 right there. Mac Johnson right there in the middle. Charles Samper way down to the bottom. He's trying to claw his way up the order. And still 3-wide racing, these guys. I'm surprised they've been able to keep it together after this long, but so far they've been able to, which is good. More fierce battles happening within the middle of the pack. DJ Curtis way up high in the 19, and he's going to kiss the wall a few times coming off of 4. Still trapped on the top of the track. He's got to find his way to the bottom real soon, but Nick Breeding and Austin Rogers are right there below him. Rogers with a good qualifying effort of his own in 19th. He's had a rocky start to Season 3. He wants to turn things around in a hurry today. You see Curtis in the 19. He's going to do his best to power on by, but he's going to be trapped up there again. Aiden Smith is also here. Dylan Schwallenberg, Shane Sides, and way back here is Zachary Fitzwater, who's just slipped back tremendously ever since the start. He's way down in 30th, while all of his Roadcast Challenge competitors are way out there ahead of him. But you can definitely tell the energy within the middle of the pack definitely has not settled down. And it looks like coming off of 2, the 43 Rogers is going to get on by. Whoa, major problems on the racetrack. A car upside down. And it's Shane Sides in the 41. As he slides to a stop at the bottom of turn 4. And Fitzwater was also involved in the 7. Man, oh man, a crazy ride for Shane Sides here in the early laps at Dover. And Zayden Davidson will take the caution flag on lap 14. But boy, that is not what Fitzwater needed at all. He's going to have much less of a chance to win that 50 grand bonus now. He'll bring his car into the pits and fix that damage. But wow, we got to catch ourselves a replay of that wild incident. So you see Fitzwater and Sides racing with each other right here. They're in the midst of a battle for 27th underneath Dylan Schwellenberg and DJ Curtis. And going down into turn 3, the 7 is going to right rear the 41. And oh my, what a huge crash. Wow. Just an absolutely vicious hit into the outside wall for the 41. And his car got turned over pretty much instantly. And that easily has to be the worst crash we've seen so far this season. It don't look much better from this angle, as you're going to see the 41 slam the wall with tremendous force. And wow, that is so scary looking. He came pretty close to piercing the fence, but thankfully I don't think he did. And it wouldn't shock me if the officials threw out the red flag for this, because it is a very serious situation in the middle of 3 and 4 here at Dover. Anyway, you start to see these guys make their way into turn 3, and Fitzwater's going to turn left, and he's going to make contact with the right rear of the 41. I don't really know what would lead Fitzwater to do that. He definitely had enough room to go to the high side of him entering the corner. And there go the 2 Dodges up towards the wall at a bad angle, and God, what a hit. Just look at that thing sail through the air as he's spinning and twirling around on his roof. He's going to come back down and land on top of the wall with the back end of his car grinding against it. I am glad that there are safer barriers all around this racetrack, which does soften the blow, but still, that impact had to be close to 140, 150 miles an hour. And for Fitzwater, this was definitely too early in the race to be getting that aggressive, because not only is his own car damaged, but another driver could be hurt thanks to him. A terrifying ride indeed for Shane Sides, the rookie driver out of Texas. And we don't have any word on his current condition, but I have been told the safety team has gotten him out of that Dodge, and they're transporting him to a local hospital to get evaluated. And I'm just really wishing the best for him right now. That's all I can say. On board the 7 of Zachary Fitzwater, as you can see how this accident gets triggered by him. And from the onboard of the 41 of Shane Sides, get ready to brace for impact. As for the rest of the field, everyone else is picking this exact time to make their first pit stops of the day. Get some fresh tire and fuels aboard these race cars, and Davidson is going to get away first with Dylan Young and Zachary DeLello following. Davidson will restart P1. As we got the 87 to the 15, their team's making some bold pit calls to put them up into the top 5. We'll see how they can fare themselves. But you also got Vince Freeze, RJ Bishop, and Joseph Strigley also in the mix in the 2 rows behind them. Gonna get back under pace right now. Back to green again on lap 18. The 87 did get the jump over the 35. But Davidson's going to get clear of him out of turn number 2. And how about RJ Bishop? He instantly went 3 wide under DeLello and Freeze. And he's now going to try and make a bid for second against your round 4 winner at Portland. There's the 65, that white car, Brantley Gage. He was in the middle for a second, but he's on the inside line following Cody Lamas. He's also got Matt Johnson, his teammate, up here. So both these rookies from Nova Sport impressing for a second straight week. They both worked really well together at Charlotte the last race. Anyhow, there goes Strigley and Freeze by the outside of the 25 again. Cody Lamas up here. Zachary DeLello in the top 5. He's running really good. And how about Dylan Young? He's looking really sporty in that red 87. The same exact scheme that he won at Portland with. A Chevy, a Ford, and 2 Dodges in the top 5, along with a Toyota of DeLello. Oh, and I think the 12 may have impacted the wall out of 4. Aaron Jordan. Yes, he did for a split second, but he's still carrying on. Roush up into 3rd ahead of Bishop. That was a real quick pass by him. There's the 11 of Strigley, throwing it 3 wide underneath Lamas and DeLello. A slight kiss to the wall by the 15. And he just is able to get across the nose of the 48. And for second place, Roush is going to take it away from Dylan Young. And down into turn 3. Oh, RJ Bishop says, hello, buddy, I'm here. And now the 38 is going to go on by. And it's now up to the 2 Rambler teammates to catch that 35, as Bishop is now going to get the advantage through turns 1 and 2, and he will be clear of the 50. Now Davidson's lead could very well be under fire, because that 38 is coming. And just watch him blast on by Davidson by the time they got off at 2. And to the lead goes your points leader for the series, RJ Bishop. And Zayden Davidson, even though he put up a good effort after leading 23 laps, he's not going to lead again now. Bishop officially claims 1 bonus point for leading a lap this afternoon. Still, though, great for Davidson to be holding the lead for that long. But, of course, an S3 car compared to a Rambler, they're tough to compete against. As there goes Roush, and Davidson is going to do his best to defend him. Although I'm sure it'll just be a matter of time before the 50 goes back by. But Davidson, he's not giving up so fast. Behind him for 4th place, Joseph Strigley, the Canadian. He's going to try and get the Chicago driver of Dylan Young for that position. Strigley, a 1-time series winner from Michigan last season. So far, the top running driver for his own team. As the 66, the 16, and the 61 are all outside the top 10. They haven't had good restarts. Strigley up into 4th, the 50 side-by-side for 2nd. Meanwhile, Vince Freeze, he'll look to put Dylan Young back in other position and put him back down to the 6th. But all this competition behind Bishop is just letting him pull away even more, as his lead continues to grow to almost 9/10 of a second, as Roush officially clears Davidson, and he's going to slip back to 4th. We didn't notice this at first, but a clash between teammates happened on lap 24, and it's between Jacob Puholtz and Anthony McClure, and kind of the same deal as Fitzwater and Sides. The 03 gets right reared by the 46, and into the wall they both go. And that's not a good look for all those guys at S3 Motorsports, and you see everybody behind them trying to react, trying to scramble out of the way. Thankfully, nobody else got turned or went around. But that's unnecessary damage for the 46 and the 03. Hopefully it doesn't hinder their performance too badly. Here sits Zachary Fitzwater, the last car running on the track, whose car is obviously not in a competitive state, as there goes the 38 to put him a lap down. Of course, Fitzwater, he could pretty much kiss his chance to win an extra 50 grand goodbye, as he's only going maybe 157 at the end of the straightaway, while the leaders, they're hitting 165. His car is definitely very hurt, as Roush and Strigley are going to catch him. And for 4th place, Freeze is by the 35. And Luke Martin, your Season 2 winner, he's also drawn into this battle. And this isn't good news for Zayden Davidson. It looks like his car isn't really taking this green flag run too good. He's going to get kicked up to the outside of the 54. And then the 87 is likely going to follow him on through. And this isn't good. He might even lose more positions thanks to the 18 of Noah Hart also being here. And Davidson really is wishing that Fitzwater was not in his way now. Oh boy, and you just have a gut feeling that he's going to keep on getting freight trained. Here goes DeLello. Oh, near contact with the left rear of the 35. He does get by, and Davidson finally gets past the 7. And here goes Logan Cloud swinging a 3 wide to the very inside off of 4. How about the 20? The rookie from Martin Motorsports making some noise, but there you see the 35 is going to lose even more positions. And now he's fallen down to 10th. And we got trouble again down the front straightaway. Cody Goforth has nailed the inside wall. A whole bunch of damage on that U.S. Army machine. And that's going to trigger the pace car to come out again for the second time today. And RJ Bishop will take the caution flag as the leader on lap 42. And we have another wrecked Dodge for Miles the Monster to enjoy as an appetizer. Cody Goforth was holding down the 32nd position with Angel Gutierrez all over him. And as they come off of 4, they're going to run out of space. And Gutierrez gets into the back of the 5 car, and bam! That was a solid hit into the inside wall. Fortunately, he was the only car involved. He was able to drive away. But obviously, the damage on that number 5 car is too severe for him to continue on. And that's a real unfortunate scenario for him and the aerodynamics team. For a team like theirs, just trying to scrape by, being go-or-go homers week in, week out, this definitely doesn't help their case, as they'll likely be go-or-go homers again for another week. Another yellow means another pit stop for the remainder of the field, and this will likely make it a 3-stop race, as the rest of these guys will have to pit at least once more to be good on fuel. But Bishop leads the way off pit road with Roush, Strigley, Martin, and Freeze all behind him. Fortunately for Zachary Fitzwater in the 7, he does receive the courtesy pass, and he is now back on the lead lap. But still, he obviously has a long uphill battle left to endure with his car running the way it is. Anyway, Bishop and Roush, the Rambler teammates, still on the front row. But Strigley, Martin, Freeze, and Hart are also strong contenders. Crawling towards the line, and we're racing once again on lap 46, and Roush is going to get the advantage over Bishop. And to the lead goes the 50 car. Wow, we saw restart jump shenanigans last week at Charlotte many times over, and it's carried over into this race at Dover. Bishop was actually victim to one of those restart jumps last week, but there is no wrongdoing right there. I think Roush is still going to be ruled good by the officials, but of course that's a very thin line that they don't want to cross. But these guys are still going to race on. Martin's going to go up into 3rd, Strigley in 4th over Logan Cloud, who's putting up a real nice day. And here's James Ellison going underneath Vince Freeze. This is the first time he's been in the top 10 today. That Gamebridge Chevy really turning a new leaf and really advancing his way forward real good. But unfortunately, his other 2 teammates of Sanford and Sakamoto, they're still stuck in this hornet's nest. There's Cody Lamas, Dylan Young, and Noah Hart going 3 wide. And also behind him, Major Robinson and Matt Johnson, they're also engaging in 3 wide battles. Lamas underneath Martin right there. Dylan Young gets pushed up to the high side back there. Matt Johnson also making more moves in the 25. But of course, this is typical Dover restart action. And the more that these happen, the more crazy these restarts are going to be. And you definitely hope that one of them doesn't lose control and we end up with another crash in another yellow. Second place could be potentially changing hands. Luke Martin is ready to steal that position away from your points leader. And through turn 2, he is going to make it happen. Your Season 1 champ up to the runner-up spot to try and chase down Scott Roush for the lead. And Martin, you know he would love to go score back-to-back victories here at Dover. Definitely showing that this is one of his favorite tracks on the schedule. There goes Strigley and Logan Cloud, still fighting for 4th. Strigley's going to keep that one. But I'm glad that on a day like this, things are finally looking the right way for Luke Martin after the rough streak that he's had. And today will be the perfect day to put that to an end. Never quite got the chance to talk about this earlier, but the number 6 Harman Benning Peterson team has made their Speed Racing Series return this weekend here at Dover, with owner-driver Wayne Benning behind the wheel. Benning getting to make his series debut this afternoon, currently running 35th, running behind Edward Ziemba in the 82. And what a place for this team to make their comeback. at the very track where they got their lone top 10 finish, a 6th place finish with Gatlin Downey here in Season 1. Of course, Downey is no longer with the team, but both this driver and this team, hailing from Pittsburgh, PA, they've always been well-liked by the fans, and they've always been known to do so much with what little they have, and they're always appreciative of whatever help comes their way. And after taking some time off, they finally made a race for Season 3, and check this out, he's actually going to have enough momentum to get around Roberto Crown Jr. in the 4 car, and he's going to clear him and climb up into 34th. And what's funny is, Benning and the 6 team was originally planning on starting and parking this race, but after putting up a good speed in practice, they've now decided to give this whole race a shot. And so far that choice is proving to be a good one. James Ellison in this 61 Chevy has been trying oh so desperately to clear that 20, but so far he's been unsuccessful to crack the top 5. And for Logan Cloud, he's coming off of 2 straight top 10 finishes at Charlotte and Darlington. Matter of fact, 4 out of the 5 Martin cars are located in the top 10. So Cloud doing his part, but not right there. The 61 finally clears the 20, and into 5th place goes James Ellison after starting down in 17th. Ellison got a good 4th place effort at Richmond, but finished outside the top 10 in the last 2 races, so he's looking to climb up again. And so far, he's making good progress. We've reached lap 69 now, which is nice, but what isn't nice is the side of lap traffic ahead of the leader, Scott Roush. Sean Ard running in 40th, Aiden Graham in the 17 running 39th. The youngster for Highside Racing making career start number 3, but I don't believe the 50 should have much trouble clearing these guys, or maybe he is going to have trouble. Here comes Martin down low. Martin using the 17 car as a pick. Side by side through turn 2. And he's going to have the inside line, and he's going to zoom on past the 50. Luke Martin will now lead his first laps of the afternoon on lap 70. And yeah, it's just looking worse from here on out for Roush. Bishop is by, oh, and the 50 touches the 17. Boy, you know, Roush is desperate to get by Aiden Graham. Thankfully he did, but that nearly came at a price. Roush falls down to 4th. Now they come up to the wounded number 7 of Fitzwater. But I bet you he's not going to give these leaders as easy of a time trying to lap him. So that courtesy pass is pretty much going to go down the drain for Fitzwater as he is back a lap down off the pace. But check that out, the top 4, all nose to tail. Off of turn 4 comes your leader, Luke Martin, to begin the second half of round number 8. And there it is, lap 75. So why don't we go through a quick rundown of all the lead lap cars at this time. You got Martin, Bishop, Srigley, and Roush the top 4. Ellison and Cloud 5th and 6th. Zayden Davidson, your pole sitter, in 7th. For 8th place, here's the lively battle for that position between Lamas, Hart, and Sanford. But it looks like Hart will get the short end of the stick in that battle. He is also a Roadcast Challenge participant. Yoshiko Sakamoto down in 11th. Zachary DeLello 12th. Vince Freeze at the track where he considers his home, running 13th. Aaron Jordan and DJ Curtis 14th and 15th. Then another home state racer, or home track racer, Christian Vargas. He's from New Jersey in 16th. Then you got Mac Johnson, your Charlotte winner, Major Robinson. Anthony McClure 19th after hitting the wall with his teammate. And Brantley Gage running in 20th. 21st, Harrison Riley, then Dylan Young, Aiden Smith, Angel Gutierrez. Finally, a clean run going for him in that 3 car, running 24th. Then Nick Breeding is 25th. Then here's Shade Eves, Austin Rogers, Dylan Schwallenberg, Jacob Holtz, and Louis Dubois in 30th. Down here in 31st, a pitiful run for Lane Sanders. He is wishing that this day could go better for him. 32nd, Wayne Benning, continuing to gradually climb up the order. Very good running for him in 32nd. Jesse Turner, a slow day for him in 33rd. Edward Ziemba, 34th. Roberto Crown Jr. and Kyle Rigger round out the lead lap cars, which we got 36 of them in total, as there's the 04 of Isaac Davis. He must have gotten into the wall, as he just went 1 lap down in 37th place. Luke Martin may have a comfortable lead, but it hasn't been completely smooth sailing for him ever since he took it away, because he has lap cars every which way around this place that he's trying to get around, as the 50 car got wiggly out of turn 2, as you saw. Right now he's trying to work his way by the 94 of Turner. and then the 82 of Ziemba to put them one lap down. And you see back there Kyle Rigger and Roberto Crown Jr. They're also kind of being a hindrance to the top 5. Logan Cloud and James Ellison. Oh, the two get together even. And they were way down to the inside of turn 2. Thankfully, Ellison had the sense to back off of that 20 and not cause him to spin. But that's just the nature of Dover. If you get a long green flag run like this, eventually you're going to catch some guys that haven't been able to keep up with the pace. And it's up to you to get around them as safely as you can. And oh boy, the 61 got into the 10 car back there. My goodness, James Ellison really desperate to get this lap traffic out of his way, and he doesn't care how aggressive he has to be in order to do it. But of course, Martin is clear. It's going to be a while before he gets to Wayne Benning, but after that, it should be mostly a clear track going forward again. A couple of JSR teammates fighting for the 10th spot, Yoshiko Sakamoto and Charles Sanford. They've each gotten to go to victory lane at least once this season, but so far, their other two teammates are stealing their thunder. But still, 10th and 11th isn't too bad for the two of them. Oh, it's back there as the 04 bounced off the wall again. Isaac Davis has even more right side damage on that Estes Toyota. He was able to make his first ever start at Charlotte and survived the chaos and grabbed a respectable 24th place finish. Of course, this is a far cry from how that race went. He's down in 37th. Still bouncing off walls and everything. But now Sanford and Sakamoto, still 60 laps to go. They can still take their time and rely on other guys having problems with lap traffic, and they'll be up with their two teammates in no time. Oh, hang on a minute. What's this? Joseph Strigley's motor has expired on the 11 car. Joseph Strigley from 5th place has lost the engine on that Chevy Impala. And he is now going to be out of the running on lap 95. Oh, hang on. Don't bring that oil up onto the racetrack. Okay, he stays to the bottom. But what a disappointing ending to what could have been a good day for Joseph Strigley. And he blew up right in front of his teammate, James Ellison. So now his other 3 team cars, they're now getting the message that their boss is now done for the day. So that's going to bring forth some concern with the 61, the 16, and the 66 teams. And he will be the 3rd car out of this race, and he'll finish it in P40. Anyway, for your leader, Luke Martin, he's on the back end of 29th place. Lane Sanders is now lap 100 is on the board here in round 8. Right now, the courtesy pass belongs to Louis Dubois in the 92, but I'm sure Martin is going to make quick work of that 86. Currently the lowest running spa driver in the field right now. And up ahead, here's the 03 of Jacob Pujols, whose car definitely has not been the same since the 46 right reared him into the turn 3 wall. Oh, and he gets a little bit wiggly at it too. But it'll definitely be a day of what could have been for Pujols, as the 54 is going to make just enough room to get around the outside of him. Now he's got to get around Aiden Graham, and he better be careful because here comes that 50. He's been able to utilize these lap cars to a good amount. Can he get to the inside of Martin? He's able to out of turn 2. And this time the 54 is stuck behind the 17. And just like that, Roush takes over command here at Dover once again. And now he's going to get around the 03 like he was nothing as well. But Martin back down to the runner-up spot. The 83 of Dylan Schwallenberg is the next lap car for Roush to try and get by. As you see Roush hanging down low, but that 83 and the 54 has a lot of momentum on the top. Oh! And I don't think Martin was able to get ahead of Roush that time. It sure was close, just a 100th of a second behind the 50. Still the same scenario as lap before. Martin trying to figure out every which way that he can use to get around the 50. And the same kind of deal again, and nope, the 54 is going to go to the low side of the 83. But we now have 26 cars on the lead lap, and you definitely can't overlook the fact that the 38 and also the 20 are still there. Logan Cloud putting together one heck of a run as the top rookie runner. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do. Oh, as we got a couple teammates heading to pit road. Nick Breeding and also Dylan Young on lap 108. So could the pit window be closing in on these guys potentially? That's something we're going to have to keep an eye on as Cloud overtakes Bishop for P3. Way to go for him. And now the 50 ducks low onto the apron. There's Isaac Davis coming in. And a whole flurry of other cars. Cloud, Holtz, Bishop, Sanders, Ellison, Ard, Benning, and Sanford. They duck down to the pits. Now here comes Luke Martin to pit road on lap 110. And it should be the final stop of the afternoon for all these drivers. They can definitely be safe to go the distance on fuel. Cody Lamas pitting, Zayden Davidson, Yoshiko Sakamoto, and I think the 12 stayed out to lead a lap. And yes, he does. Aaron Jordan going to try and stretch it out the farthest out of everybody. Nice for him to get a one-lap lead bonus point, but I don't think it's going to be long before he decides to pit. Noah Hart getting out onto the track again. And now here comes Aaron Jordan in the 12. And I don't believe there were more lead lap cars behind him. There's McClure in the 46, Brantley Gage in the 65. There's Shade Eves and Austin Rogers coming down. And there's Scott Roush. So we'll just have to wait until everything cycles through to see who will become the leader again. Luke Martin trying to get back onto the racetrack as quickly as he can. And there's Scott Roush, who he was racing with before this stop cycle began. And he's going to have nothing for the 50 car. Roush's pit crew is able to have a quicker pit stop than Martin's team. And the 46 of Anthony McClure technically led that last lap, but he's getting service now. So by the next time Scott Roush comes back around, he should cycle back to the first position. And indeed, that's what it's shaping up to be. As here comes the Alabama native to the line to click off another lap lead. As the pit stop cycle is now completed, nobody should be making any more trips to pit road. Anyway, let's go over all the lead lap cars now that the cycle is through. Roush remains in the lead, 1.29 seconds ahead of Luke Martin. For third and fourth, a pair of rookies and a pair of teammates, Logan Cloud and Cody Lamas for Martin Motorsports. Excellent run by that duo. Fifth place, James Ellison. Sixth place, how about this for Charles Sanford? He was remotely nowhere near the top 10 most of the day, and now here he is at sixth. Seventh place, your pole sitter Zayden Davidson, but he is under fire from Yoshiko Sakamoto in the 66 as they split the 31 of Sean Ard. That's a daring pass. Anyway, ninth place, RJ Bishop. Another solid day for him in the top 10, and 10th place goes to DJ Curtis. Real good run by him. 11th through 13th, Aaron Jordan, Christian Vargas, Noah Hart, who right now is the top Roadcast Challenger driver. And there's 14th place, Major Robinson. Vince Fries in 15th. Then it's Zachary DeLello, Anthony McClure, Dylan Young, Brantley Gage, and 20th is Mac Johnson. And then Nick Breeding, Angel Gutierrez, and Harrison Riley. And my bad, there's the 89 of Aiden Smith right there in 24th. And that is the amount of total lead lap cars we have. While Schwallenberg, Eves, Holtz, Rogers, Sanders, and Dubois round out the top 30. And another engine failure on the track. It's Nick Breeding in the 00. Harrison Riley had to slow down to take avoiding action. But wow, another disappointing outcome to a race for Nick Breeding. He exited the race early out at Richmond due to a crash. And now right here with just 30 laps to go, he was running inside the top 25, but now that good run he had going is going to be no more. Why don't we give a special pat on the back to Angel Gutierrez, the Mexico rookie, in the 3 car for Crossroads Racing. Currently battling with the 24 Harrison Riley for the courtesy pass position in 22nd. Anyway, Gutierrez, as he taps the wall at turn 4. Gutierrez has notably been one of the most unluckiest drivers this whole season. 4 DNFs in 7 races, and he's been a go or go homer ever since round 5. But this is the kind of run that 3 team has been longing for. And with about 26 laps to go, it's great to see them in this kind of position. And hopefully they can keep hanging on and finally get a good top 25 run. That'll result in a good payday for that bunch. Even though their boss is no longer on the track, the other 3 Joseph Wrigley Racing cars are having exceptional days, all in the top 10. Here's James Ellison in 4th place, trying to block Logan Cloud from taking over that spot. Charles Sanford running in 6th. There he is in that orange 16. And then back here in 7th, Yoshiko Sakamoto holds that position. And she has a comfortable gap over 8th place RJ Bishop. So even though the day as a driver is going to end on a sour note for Strigley, at least on the owner's side, his other 3 cars are going to get him a great paycheck and hopefully a more fresher engine that should last him the whole race the next time these guys compete. We also can't forget to talk about the 3 remaining Roadcast Challenge drivers that are still in contention. And it definitely won't be Fitzwater that's going to get the money today. He's 2 laps down. But right now that spot is being held by the 21 of Vince Freeze. Running here in 13th, as you see. If he can just circuit this track 17 more times, that extra 50 grand is going to go right into his pocket. So even though it won't be a race win, Freeze can still walk away from his home track with some positive. Meanwhile, the other 2 competitors, Noah Hart and Major Robinson, they're stuck in this little fight for 14th. And they just keep continuing to lose ground as Brantley Gage, Anthony McClure, and Zachary DeLello is probably going to go by these guys. Roush holds a 3/4 of a second lead over Luke Martin, but he has a trio of lap cars right in his way. His teammate Zachary Fitzwater is going to give him some room to pass underneath. But folks, these last 12 laps are going to click off just like that. So in reality, Luke Martin doesn't have a whole lot of time if he wants to make a move on Roush for the race lead. But you see on the leaderboard, Martin has cut the gap down in half. Now Roush has Aiden Smith and Sean Hart to deal with. Oh, the 2 make contact. The 31 in the wall, and he's going to come up and spin right in front of the leaders. Caution is going to come out. And a very close call between Sean Hart and the top 3 drivers as he came up the track and spun directly around right in front of them. And this means we will have a restart with under 10 laps to go at the Monster Mile. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, you better not leave your seats now because this race just got a whole lot more interesting. There you see the 89 of Aiden Smith, who was desperate to stay on the lead lap in 21st. But at the same time, the 50 was desperate to get around these guys in order to stay ahead of the 54. And getting onto the back straightaway, the 31 gets turned by the 89. He bounces off the inside wall, and just look at how close that was to the 31 taking out the top 3. Fortunately, they all escape. You can just tell that the desperation's starting to set in for some of these guys. And thanks to this happening, we're going to have a lot more jazzy end to this race. A quick onboard view from the 48 of Cody Lamas, and just watch what he does as the 31 slides directly up into his path. Whew, man, a juke and a jive, and he's still alive. Great avoidance by Cody Lamas, as he will get to line up in 3rd for this final restart. Just like a week ago at Charlotte, you folks are going to get treated to a late race restart. And it will be a 6-lap sprint to the finish of this race. So whatever happens, happens. If the yellow comes out, the race will end. But your top 5, Scott Roush, Luke Martin, Cody Lamas, James Ellison, and Logan Cloud, they got the best chances to win this thing out of everybody. Will they all survive? Will they all make it back to the end at lap 150? It is time to buckle up and pedal down hard. Green flag in the air with 6 to go. And the 54 noses ahead of the 50 at the line. Martin trying to stay side by side with Roush, but it's not working. How about Cody Lamas making some noise in that 48? The rookie out of Florida trying to go for his first career win. How about that if he's going to make it happen this afternoon? 5 laps to go now. The 48 bearing down on him. Here comes James Ellison to attack Luke Martin for 3rd. Here's Logan Cloud in the top 5. 3 Martin Motorsports cars, all with an equal shot to win. Scott Roush has to be perfect. He cannot afford to make a mistake. 4 laps to go now. The pressure is on. Can Cody Lamas force Roush into messing up and maybe entering too high on the racetrack? Oh, as he wiggles a bit out of turn 2. How about James Ellison? Can he do anything? If these guys have anything left for that 50 car, they better find a way to do it soon. As the flagman is waving the yellow flag, caution comes out with 3 to go. And that is going to give Scott Roush the victory as we got cars everywhere in turn 3. DJ Curtis, Aiden Graham, Major Robinson, last week's winner, he was in it. Mac Johnson, Dylan Young, and Zachary DeLello all torn up. Oh, and there's Aiden Smith into the pit wall. And there he's going to get towed back. Oh, and the 21 of Vince Freeze, he was also collected in it. Unbelievable. That's two of the Road Cash Challenge drivers that became involved in this mess. But a big-time melee down in turn number 3 is what's going to bring this race to a premature end, as Austin Rogers, he's got a lot of smoke coming out of that 43 car. That's a shame for him and that team. But we have reached 2 laps to go. And Scott Roush can breathe a lot easier now, as he will just have to go 2 more miles until this victory can be his. Before we get to the checkered flag, though, we'll have to get some replays on how this big one broke out. And here's how it began. Pay attention to the 03, the 47, the 19, and the 83, who decide to go 4 wide through turn 2. And you just can't do that here. They squeeze into each other, up into the wall they go, and it just becomes a frenzy going into the 3rd turn. Lots of hard hits by so many cars. Oh, and the 25 actually gets flipped over. Mac Johnson goes bottom side up and lands back on his wheels. I'm surprised he's even able to drive that thing away. Look at all the damage onto that Budweiser car. But the second wild accident to happen down in turns 3 and 4. And plenty of dollar bills just got flushed down the toilet for so many team owners. Now, I understand that there were only 4 laps to go and that you got to get every position you can before the end of the race, but this was 100% avoidable. You just have no business going 4 wide at a place like Dover, because the majority of the time, it just doesn't work. Shade Eves in the 47 is able to go by on the inside, but Buchholz, Curtis, and Schwallenberg all run out of space. They get together. Christian Vargas with nowhere to go in the 81 car. And watch this. The whole track becomes completely blocked for the entire pack. The 92 of Louis Dubois also goes around. And just look at how much smoke there is. How can these drivers even see trying to make it through this? Wow, look at Wayne Benning in the 6 car shoot the gap. Along with Anthony McClure. They're able to make it by, but not so much for these other guys. There's where the 21 slams into the 03. The 87 goes around, the 04, the 15, the 85, and there's how the 25 goes upside down. His teammate, Aiden Smith, slams into him at an angle where his car was on the banking and on the apron, and it was just enough to invert the car. Fortunately, it was a soft flip, not unlike the one Shane Sides had earlier in the day. Second time today that we've seen this happen, and he thankfully lands the right way up. A wild incident for him, but we got to see what happens to the 89. There he's trying to make it into the pits, but he's going way too fast. And gosh, what a wicked hit into the pit wall for Aiden Smith. A wild way to end this one here, folks. I'm sure these fans definitely got their money's worth this afternoon watching all the carnage happen. And old Miles the Monster gets to have his full course dinner after all. We were able to gather up a few onboards from this pileup, starting with the 83 of Dylan Schwallenberg. Secondly, from the onboard of your Charlotte winner, Major Robinson, this is what he saw. A phenomenal job by the 46 of Anthony McClure to miss this accident. Watch and see how he does it. Lastly, from the 25 of Mac Johnson. Hang on, because you're going to go on quite the ride real soon. Back to live action. We have now reached the final lap, rounding about the final 2 turns. No more distance left to cover in this race. And the checkered flag today is going to fall for Scott Roush and the number 50 Rambler Racing Team. And coming to the line to collect his first points-paying win of the season, Scott Roush conquers the Monster Mile for Season 3, as I don't know what is going on with the pace car. That is so weird. He just drove straight down to the inside wall. Okay then. I guess you can say not even the pace car is spared from the calamity. We've definitely had plenty of it today. Still, though, what an awesome job by Scott Roush today. What an excellent race that he and his team put together. Being able to lead many laps and being able to execute on each pit stop. And Scott Roush was able to hold off the furious charges of Lamas, Ellison, and Martin on the final restart. And he is able to score his second career win here in the Speed Racing Series presented by Middle Road Energy. It's a well-deserved victory, and I'm sure he and his crew will bask in the celebration greatly as we leave this racetrack this afternoon in Delaware. A quick rundown of the top 10. Roush wins it over Cody Lamas. What a hard-fought effort by him. Even though it's not a win, still a great way to end the day in second. James Ellison, a good finish for him in third. Luke Martin stops the bleeding with a fourth-place finish. And Roush, Lamas, Ellison, and Martin, they will be your new Road Cash Challenge drivers here for Watkins Glen in the next round. And how about Logan Cloud earning his first ever top 5 in the 20 car? That's 3 out of the 5 Martin cars with a top 5 finish. Good job by Logan Cloud. Here's 6th place Yoshiko Sakamoto. Your pole setter, Zayden Davidson, comes home in 9th. RJ Bishop holds on to the points lead with a 7th place finish. Here's Charles Stamper way back here. He finishes 8th. And then Aaron Jordan, the rookie, brings it home in 10th. If I can get to Scott Roush right here, there he is. Anthony McClure down in 11th. And down in 12th place, there you'll find Noah Hart. He will be the winner of the $50,000 bonus today for the Road Cash Challenge, courtesy of Middle Road Energy. It was definitely a race of survival, and Noah Hart and that 18 team did the best job to make it past that melee with 3 to go. And he is now 50 grand richer. DJ Curtis, a good effort for him in 13th. Dylan Young and Major Robinson, they settle for 14th and 15th, and their teammate Christian Vargas gets 16th. Brantley Gage, last driver on the lead lap in 17th. Then Harrison Riley, Lane Sanders, and Shade Eves rounds out the top 20. As there's a whole bunch of disorganization on pit road. But while they figure things out on pit road, that's going to wrap up our time here from Dover Speedway. Thank you all very much for being able to tune in and watch this action-packed race. It definitely did not lack all day long. We saw many wild accidents, 2 flips, lots of torn-up race cars, many intense battles for the lead, and just about every position all over the track. And then that final exciting sprint to the finish. And we can only hope Watkins Glen will keep up that same excitement for round number 9, as we will be going back to a road course for the next round on the tour. Here come your points and your race results following round number 8. One final congratulations to Scott Roush and the 50 team for being able to tame the monster and get the win today at Dover. And may the rest of you have a great day.